Good morning.
Good Thursday morning.
It's pouring outside.
I know, I'm loving this weather.
You like this weather?
Yeah, because it's such a nice change from the beautiful sunny weather that we get the majority of the time. I like, you know what it is? You know, when it's sunny outside, I feel obligated to go out and make the most of the day. And it almost just adds stress because I'm like, I'm not making the most of this beautiful day.
I agree. When I lived in New York and you would get 3 great months, say, and you'd have these great days, and when you were forced to be inside, you know, in my situation, mostly for coaching or running the box, you were upset because you weren't outdoors.
Yeah.
And, throw into that, we like to exercise, which is often an indoor activity with weights.
Mm-hmm.
And it does add stress. And then when I moved to Florida, it was stress year round.
I think in a way though it's kind of nice because we generally know that tomorrow it's going to be sunny again, so no big deal if we didn't get a ton of outdoorsy things done. But we're pretty good on the whole. Like, we make a good effort to get outdoors as much as possible, I
think we spend 20 to 30 minutes outdoors every day, which...
Oh, at least.
Well, I mean, I think that's our...
On average.
Yeah, just like, hey, we realize, okay, we might not go lay by the pool for 3 hours every day because it's beautiful, but we walk mow, or even if it's doing Helen on a Monday afternoon in the sun.
Was that on Monday?
I think it was Tuesday, but still.
Yeah.
We did that.
Wasn't it hot and steamy then, I think?
We did it a little later in the afternoon.
Was coming on. But yeah, so I'm loving this weather. I just love the sound as well of the rain outside. It makes being inside cozy, and all the animals and things that you can hear.
All the stinky wet dogs that are in the house.
Yeah, the dogs got wet. Mo nearly had a fit about it. He is so hilarious in the rain. Honestly, he looked like he was being shot. He was like, this is the most uncomfortable experience of my life. I'm dying. I'm an indoor dog. Don't put me outside.
I'm slowly dying. And then Marley literally goes outside and sits.
Yeah, she's like, rain on me. This is wonderful.
No, she's just a stinky wet dog going back in our bedroom as we speak.
Wonderful.
And I love when I dry her off and she just sits there.
You made me think of some Star Trek character, though.
When I was drying her off?
Yeah.
She's just so funny. But she is like just one stanky dog. She loves being dirty. She, if she had the opportunity, she would roll in dead animals. She eats poo. Like, she snacks on poo. And then...
I'm laughing because it's true, and it's hilarious. I feel like there's always a kid who's like that.
Well, they're the opposites.
Not who eats poo, but who is just like skanky and gross as a kid.
A smelly kid.
Yeah. Or just like the completely oblivious kid to dirt and whatnot. Like, I remember one kid just always having boogers all over his face, and he just didn't care. He knew they were there, but he was like, if you don't like it, deal with it.
You had a kid like that in school?
Yes! It was so funny.
That's crazy. Yeah, but Marley they're the opposite dogs. If you were to look at them, you'd be like, oh, that's the roughhousing.
Oh, yeah.
That's
true.
Brute of a dog that loves to be dirty.
And and he's not.
And then Mo's like... So the opposite of that, and Marley, this lab is like, get me dirty. Get me dirty. Whenever she's like, just, how she goes outside and just rolls on the ground? Mm-hmm. It's usually rolling in something.
Yeah.
It's like perfume. Like, this dead frog. I need this all over my body. My old pug, Lucy, she didn't do it as often as Marley, but if she were doing it, it was a dead animal. Like, she would just rub herself. One time I caught her, she was so happy, and it was just this giant smushed dead frog, and she was just on her back, loving it. I need this on me.
It's that primal instinct in her, I guess. She's just attracted
It
to
is.
that eau de naturel.
It is amazing, like, when you think about the...
That's why I love you so much, babe.
What
Your
about it?
smell. I'm attracted to it.
Do I smell bad? I smell like dead frog?
Not dead frog.
How do I smell?
Like man.
1 to 10, what's my odor rating?
No, I can definitely smell your smell.
What does it smell like?
But it's not like, oh, you stink. It's not like BO, you know. It's your body odor, but it's not BO.
But what is it?
I can't describe it. It's a smell.
It's a distinct...
It's manly without being gross.
You don't like when we're walking outside?
But I don't like it when we're walking outside and you're sweating like profusely, and then you put your arm out over me and your sweaty armpit goes all over my shoulder.
I'm not sweating
I don't like.
profusely.
Usually not.
But do I smell... So have I ever smelled bad?
When you're working out...
I smell bad? You shouldn't smell bad just because you're working out.
Well, I think, like, when the sweat dries and then you... Like, often when you're working out, don't forget, you are wearing a t-shirt that you've been wearing all day, or you've done jiu-jitsu already. Like, you've gone out, worked out, sweat has dried, it's gotten on your clothes, and now it's starting to smell. So then you start to smell a little bit. But let's just clarify, you're not the stinky kid, babe.
I'm not?
No. You don't ever smell bad.
I'm allergic to deodorant.
I know, you told me that. Have you tried any recently?
I haven't, because the time I was allergic, I don't ever want to attempt it again.
What is it in deodorants you're allergic to?
I don't know. It was just...
But you just knew because you came out in, like, hives or something?
No, when I was maybe 16 or 17, my armpits really were hurting. And these, like, gross things, like... not
like
gross.
bumps?
Yeah, like bumps. They were like pimples, basically.
I think that's a teenage thing, though.
There's just, like, 1 or 2 big ones. Like, painful.
Really?
So, like, this is gross. And then we'd soak them in, like, Epsom salts, like, on a...
And that helped?
Yeah, and then, they would, like, pop. Like a pimple. They basically became gross pimples. One time, that was it. I was like, okay, I don't want that to happen again. And so then I switched to, like, one of those. So my mom was like, well, maybe you're allergic to deodorant. So then we switched to one of those balls, you know?
Oh, yeah. I don't like those ones.
It didn't do anything. I was stinky. So that was like, you put it on out of the shower.
As a teenager, I can imagine.
I remember one time I was in gym class at high school, and I was like, I stink right now.
That's bad when you realize, like, that
you could smell
it on yourself.
So I was like, okay, that didn't work. And then we switched to Tom's. Maybe it wasn't Tom's right then.
Right.
But it was like a natural brand. So Jason. It was Jason, actually.
Self-diagnosed.
Allergic to deodorant.
Allergic based on one reaction that you had as a teenager when you're going through a very hormonal stage in your life.
Yes. That was literally over 20 years ago, and I've not used regular deodorant since.
Oh my God.
That was so painful. I don't want to try it again.
Okay.
Well, hey, Tom's works.
Oh, yeah.
I don't smell. It's not more expensive than regular deodorant that I'm aware of. And
I don't think it's very good for antiperspirant, though.
No, it's not an antiperspirant, but I mean, it's a deodorant.
Like you still sweat.
Still sweat. You don't want to use an antiperspirant.
Yeah.
You should sweat.
Yeah. I don't like having sweat into my armpits.
Yeah, but if you're using something that's telling your body to not do something that's natural.
I get it.
You sure?
Yeah.
But you use an antiperspirant.
Right now I'm using your deodorant.
Do you use my deodorant?
I don't have any left.
How long has that been going on?
About 2 weeks.
You go into my cabinet?
Yeah. Your cabinet? What are you talking about? It's only on the other side of the bathroom.
Yeah, and that's my cabinet. You have the bigger sink.
Half of the stuff under the sink is like, I don't know what's under there. Towels and whatnot.
You can take it out.
All right.
You got 2 cabinets. You got
anyway,
a drawer.
the point being, we haven't been to the store really. So and every time we do, I forget.
Well, I got a
Plus,
couple.
your deodorant's just right there.
Use my
I'm testing it out.
toothbrush, toothpaste.
I don't use your toothbrush.
Use my toothpaste.
No, I have my own now.
If there's a listener out there, this is what I want cleared up. Do you put the cap back on your toothpaste when
This
you're
is
done?
what I would like to clear up. Why buy one of those toothpastes where you have to unscrew and screw on the cap? Those just annoy me. I want the flip top.
You have a flip top.
Yes, that's why I now have my own toothpaste. I like the flip top.
That's why?
Yeah, I don't like screwing on and screwing off the cap every single day. That is a pain in the ass to me.
Think about how much time you're saving
I
in
know.
your life.
Well,
You know how much time?
Speaking to Mr. Efficiency.
You know how
over
much
here.
time you saved? Enough time to go make some breakfast. All that time you saved, now you can make breakfast.
Lilith told me last week that you should be making me breakfast. She said she listened to our podcast and that I'm right.
Lilith is a little crazy. She was behind me in that workout on Monday. She was funny. And then we were texting after, or Facebook messaging, and I said, good job today. And she said, watching you work out, and you were going through some inner turmoil in the middle of the workout.
I think we all do at some point when we're working out, right?
I think so.
I remember doing, I'm sure it's an open workout. It's like a burpee thruster descending ladder workout.
Yeah, the 28, 21, 18,
Yes.
15, yeah.
Oh my gosh, I was in tears at one point doing that workout. And it wasn't just the workout. I mean, that was like the catalyst for it, the frustration of that workout because it was so hard. But there was just like all this other stuff suddenly came bubbling up, and I was like, I'm having a meltdown.
Well, it's similar to what we were speaking about last week, where you kind of get all that bullshit out of your body during a workout, and then everyone's happy.
Yeah, well, I think it's so hard. Like, we encounter so many stressful events and triggers throughout the day, and typically, if we were animals or way back to our primal ancestors, that kind of stress was always dissipated immediately. Like, you would do something in order to get rid of it. Like, usually stress back in the day, the usual purpose of stress is what I'm trying to say here, is fight or flight.
Right, I'm hungry, go kill something.
Exactly. But now it's so often, just in order to keep the peace or just to kind of get through the day, you have to deal with it. You just move on. You sweep it under the rug. And for your body, not dissipating with that stress in some kind of physical way, it's actually, it really does build up physiologically.
That's how people have breakdowns.
Yeah.
Well, I guess
actually I was reading that you should try, sorry to interrupt you right there, but I was just reading about this, that if you feel really overwhelmed with stress like that, rather than just trying to move on, you should try doing a fist clenching thing, and doing that as part of a physical trigger, because your body still perceives the action as action. It doesn't matter that it's not a huge amount of activity. And two, the other thing you can try is actually picturing yourself doing activity, like running.
So instead of working out now...
I'm not saying that, but if you're in a stressful situation and you're trying to relieve the accumulation of stress that's building in your body, it's just the same premise of athletes envisaging themselves doing a workout. It's the same premise. It's like if your body doesn't always differentiate between what it's actually doing and what you're visualizing.
So, advice. That's advice. If someone's sitting here listening and they're stressed about something, envision, workout, clench your fists. Mm-hmm. Probably drop and give 10 push-ups even.
Yeah, that's a great one if you don't feel like you're going to be... I mean, I would do it if you're in the middle of IKEA and you're feeling stressed. Why not? Everyone in there's a lunatic anyway.
It's almost like when we look outside and Mo is just sprinting back and forth.
Exactly that.
It's, animals have this way of releasing their energy. Or when someone has a dog that's misbehaving, mm-hmm. they just have too much energy.
Yeah.
And it's similar here, where ours is obviously Because it's true, back to that caveman scenario. Yeah, cavemen weren't stressed about money.
No, like stress these days is not the kind of stress that our body should be dealing with.
But just lingering long-term stress.
Exactly.
They weren't stressed about money. They weren't stressed about even being overweight or unhealthy because they probably didn't have much of an option to be overweight.
No, they were doing intermittent fasting.
They were intermittent fasting and basically, the original paleo eaters.
Yeah.
Eating meats and berries.
Hunter-gatherers.
And whatever they didn't have a refrigerator to store the extra berries, so they ate what they could. Speaking of stress, I was stressed out this week.
We've had a huge week. Like bigger than the biggest step ever. We bought something together.
Well, not really. You're not even on it.
I know, but I feel like
because you're an alien.
Let's not get into my immigration status.
But no, we bought a car.
We did.
And we had to buy this car because of the road trip. So it turns out a Prius cannot tow a camper.
Well, not our old Prius.
And right, not the old Prius. So we had to buy a new car. We bought a Subaru Outback. Very.
So all our future podcasts are brought to you by.
We were funny as we were buying this. First of all, amazing car.
Oh my gosh! It's beautiful.
We bought it. At our age, it was like the first car that I'm like, okay, we need a practical car. We want safe.
I know. I was talking about it
reliable.
In front of your mom. It's like, I want to get a family car too for the future. And your mom's like, when are you having kids?
Yeah.
Is it next year? Can I quit my job yet?
It was funny because as we were buying it, and I was like, this might be our first child's car.
I think it will be.
Not, if you're listening, we do not have a child, nor is Roz pregnant. But, 16, 17, 18 years from now.
Yeah.
People say this car will last that long.
Yeah, that's probably why we bought it, right?
This car I will drive it forever. Based on the payments.
Yeah.
What?
No, I'm just saying, it's like you've bonded yourself to this car now. You're like, car, you and me, we're in this for life.
I love it, though. I do love it. It's the second new car I've had.
Right.
And it's nice. It's a
good point. I don't think I've ever had a new car.
Yeah, I've always gotten cars from basically my parents. They would buy a new one and be like, "You want our old one?" I was like, "Hell yeah, I want your old."
Yeah.
At one point, I was driving like a Toyota Camry. It was my grandmother's. I just was like, I was 30, and maybe a little younger, and it was like this whale of a car, beige, with beige interior, like totally grandma car. And I was like, whatever. I used to bring
great.
Yeah. I just put the pugs in it. They loved it in the back seat.
The first car I bought was this like old beat up, put back together Dodge Neon. It was bright blue. You would have loved it.
Oh, I remember those Neons. Yeah.
And it was such a boy racer car. Like it didn't suit me at all. But I was like, it's all I can afford. It's $2,000.
That was your very first car?
No, that was just the first one that I purchased myself.
What was the first car you owned or drove?
My sisters and I, we had, I think it was a Renault Clio.
What is that? That's an English car?
No, it's French. It's like European.
Oh, okay.
Is that how you say it here?
No, but...
Do you remember those adverts?
Yeah, now that you say it.
Nico. Is that Renault? I think.
My first car was a 1986 Chevy Cavalier.
That sounds very American.
Well, it's Chevy, but it was from this like gas station I would drive by on the way to, or not, when I would go to high school, you'd pass it on the way home. And, those gas stations that would sell a car, like out front.
Oh, right, yeah.
It was like $1,800 or something. Wow. 86, so this is like 1995. So it was like almost 10 years old. And it had everything was not power at the time. It was like you crank the window down. There wasn't power steering.
Gosh, I forget that.
Old school cassette deck, and there was a sunroof, but I didn't realize when I bought it that the sunroof leaked. So then as you would drive, like it would literally rain in the car. Like,
oh no. Like it was worse as you were driving?
Well, no, but it was like if you turned, the water would run across the sunroof and drip into your face. So I used to work at an Italian restaurant, and they would have cloth napkins, like a fancy Italian restaurant. I was a waiter, and I would take those and I would kind of jam them up into the sunroof, and it would stop them. So
nice.
it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. But I love that car. I had Grateful Dead stickers all over it. That was like...
And you bought it?
Yeah. That was like you... My parents helped. I think we split it or something. And but that was like when you're just like, don't know anything. You're like, this is the best car.
Yeah, because it represents so much to you. Like, I remember how free we suddenly felt. Like, I mean, my older sister, she's older, so the car was hers first. But she learned to drive, and of course, my parents wouldn't be happy with her just going out on her own. So, it'd be, she'd say, hey, can I go out for a drive? They'd say, sure, but take your sister. I'm like, yes.
You're going to be dangerous. Take 2 of our kids.
Yeah, I know. Because I was like the sensible, responsible one. So
at
they were
12.
like, no, my older sister's like, she's only 15 months older than me.
Oh, gotcha.
So I wasn't too far behind driving with her. But yeah, we'd go out for a little spin around the island. This is when we were living in Guernsey. And it was freedom. It was the best.
It was. And yeah, I mean, I remember the very first time I drove by myself. I remember what song I was listening to in the car.
You do?
Because I remember I was like, this is going to be awesome. I'm driving. I probably was going to like high school. Like my parents let me use the car. Because even when I had a car, my stepfather was so strict. It wasn't like you can take it wherever you want. I had to let him know. But I was, very much into the Grateful Dead. I was like, I'm going to take this tape and I'm going to listen to this song the first time I drive.
That's funny because you make tape mixes like for the car.
Right. This wasn't a mix. You used to the Dead. You would listen to like live shows. Like,
oh, right.
So I was like, I'm going to listen to this show and it's going to be awesome and I'm going to drive around. And you didn't have a cell phone.
What was the song?
Well, you wouldn't know it, but it's a song called Franklin's Tower. And, it was a live show, and I was like, this is just the most amazing moment of my life. And
see, and you remember because of it.
I remember that, big time. No, and I also, I was driving my 86 Cavalier, and I didn't live in a fancy town or anything, so it's not like people are showing up in fancy cars, the kids. Like, we all were driving used. I'm sure some had nicer cars, but I was so oblivious to cars, and still am.
Yeah, you really don't care at that age. I mean, it's just...
No, a couple of the kids there, no one had a luxury car like you see kids in our neighborhood now. Like, there's kids driving around in Mercedes.
I know.
And I'm like...
we saw, like, some kid the other day driving some Audi. It was like, yeah, that's got to be his parents. Please say it's his parents.
And it might be, but, like, yeah, the kid I used to train in the garage, Matt, I see him driving his parents, like, Lexus all the time.
Oh, really?
And I think because of that, you certainly don't develop any sense of worth to these things. Like this, you see how much I'm like, this is our new car. We're gonna keep it. Like, you don't get that when you are driving a Mercedes when you're 15 years old. But I don't think anyone like. I remember the one kid that had like the cool car in my high school was a kid driving a Jeep Wrangler.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so it was like, and cool car. I like those Jeeps, and that's just because it's like sweet as far as having the top down, but my parents would never have let me.
No.
Billy, my stepfather, is way too sensible when it comes to safety and whatnot. So,
but I'm excited because I feel like this car. Well, first of all, it comes in wilderness green,
which I don't love green, but I've got that. It's growing.
It really does look like the wilderness.
I got that color for you.
The Java brown interior.
I love the interior.
Really seems it's so earthy.
But we need.
I can already see us on the side of a mountain somewhere.
And it's got that. It basically drives for you.
I couldn't believe that yesterday. You were in cruise control and it was braking for you.
It brought me to a complete stop.
I love it.
I can sleep.
And it beeps at him when he drives over the middle of the line. It's wonderful.
I love it. But it's really in support of our tour.
It is.
And we've booked about 8 seminars so far.
Just in Florida, yeah. We haven't set ourselves up yet.
So our first tour stop is actually June 3rd. It's a Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
We're heading to Lake Kona. That's just a one-off kind of. We're coming home, and then the 5th, my birthday.
Yeah.
If anyone's listening wants to send birthday presents,
Is your birthday coming up?
I can't believe it. Yeah, like my sister's birthday is in 2 days. I got to give her a call.
How old are you gonna be?
I'll be 28.
I think we talked about this the other week, didn't we? Someone thought you were 32.
Yeah, I'll be 39. This is a big year, this whole tour thing, because it comes on kind of like, I'm looking at it where it's like, hey, this is it. This is my last hurrah.
Why?
Well, before 40.
Right.
Like, let's just have a crazy, epic year. Let's hit the road. We're hitting the road the day after my birthday. Let's stay on the road for 6 months to a year. Let's preach nutrition. Let's chill in Colorado, Massachusetts, California. Come home and be 40. What do you think about that?
I think it's a wonderful idea.
We'll get married, get you knocked up along the way.
What did you say the other day? You're like, I can't believe kids are going to be born in the camper. I was like, I'm not sure about born.
I meant conceived.
Potentially conceived.
Oh, they're getting conceived.
Oh, you're going to be so embarrassing to our kids, aren't you?
Oh, yeah, that will be my only goal in life, is to embarrass the children. So what are our tour dates? We've got...
I was just trying to pull up. The tour tickets are live now on the website. So
what's the website?
ownyoureating.com, and then you can go /shop/tour tickets, or just click on the shop icon in the menu bar there, so you can see them.
Where are we booked? So we've got CrossFit MDI on June 3rd.
Yeah.
Sphinx on June 6th, which I think is a Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
We've actually got another seminar later that week. That ticket's not up yet at LW CrossFit.
Oh, cool.
Then we head to Orlando. So, that first week we're kind of home base still, but then on the 12th we're out.
I'm excited to go to all these different boxes. Like, I was talking to someone, I think it was, who was I talking to yesterday in class? Maybe it was Haley. But just talking about dropping into different boxes and just seeing, like, different programs and training and meeting different people. And
that's what's going to be fun. Like, you see, for example, Dave Castro. I was looking at his Twitter yesterday, and he's just always dropping into boxes, talking about their workouts. That'll be fun to do. I've gotten really comfortable at North Naples and hitting the workouts. It's fun. What's somebody loving?
It's like we've only really been going back to class for the last 3 weeks.
But it's
I'm so comfortable already.
You just get comfortable. It's down the road. You understand
it doesn't take you long to feel at home. Dig your roots in. I like it.
You know what to expect.
Yeah, no, I get you.
But now we're going to be bound. I mean, we might go to a box that has 3 parts to a workout.
Mm-hmm.
Or we might go to a box that has a 5K run.
Well, remember when we were at Paradiso that week when we were there in California?
Oh, yeah.
Their workouts were insane that week. They were so hard.
Remember that EMOM we did?
They were all like 30 minutes long.
Well, they were doing that aerobic capacity at the time.
They were going into a different training phase. But for us, we were like in a completely different... We were more in a high volume end kind of phase in our training. So that was a bit of a... We
did that EMOM. I think it was a 30-minute EMOM. It had push press, box jump, and double unders.
Yeah, with the heavy ropes. Do you remember? I was just...
Oh yeah, because they were just ropes we were not used to. The RX ropes.
Yeah.
So they were slower.
They were. I mean, they made it infinitely harder for me.
It was like 50 double unders on 1 minute.
Forearms were burning.
It was a heavy push press for like 10.
Yeah.
Not heavy, but for 10 reps.
Yeah.
And the EMOM was like, I want to say 115 for the guys, and then it was burpee box jump.
Yeah, burpee box jump.
Remember, like, the very first one?
You caught your toe, but you managed to...
I rolled.
You kind of, like, just went splat.
Oh, that's right.
But you landed straight into a burpee and just got up.
I played that off.
But you basically belly flopped onto the floor.
And the coach was like,
That was
impressed
smooth.
with that.
Yeah, he was like, that was nice recovery. You went straight into your burpee.
That workout, and then we did the one with the sandbag.
Yeah,
it
that
was like
the
a
next
run.
day, I think.
It was like run, and then in the middle of every run, there was like a chipper.
Yeah, you had to do
sit-ups
with the
thrusters,
bow tie sit-ups, and it was back squat. It was the empty barbell on your back and doing jumping squats.
And there were thrusters in there too.
Yeah.
And then I did GHD sit-ups. But that chick gave me the 90-pound
sandbag.
They were quarter-mile runs. Remember you go down to the end of that sidewalk?
I won that workout.
Yeah, because you probably didn't use a 90-pound. She gave me the only...
I gave the RX... I used the RX sandbag.
I was going RX plus on that thing.
You know why I won the workout? It was because there was a 400-meter run in it.
Like 5 rounds of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a very good runner.
Anyway, we digress. But see, it was fun, and now we remember.
I can't believe we remember those, yeah.
And I loved that dog.
Oh, that little Matzo ball, yeah, the bulldog. But where else we booked? Mousetrap, Lake Nova, and then we're already heading to Georgia in July.
Lake Nona.
Oh, Lake Nona?
Yeah, that's the one in Orlando area.
Yeah, we have a couple more booked in Orlando, CrossFit Zoo, and...
so there's some still not up on the site.
Yeah, they'll hopefully be up by the end of the day, and then we have a couple more in Miami area.
There's one that's right next door to Disney.
Which one?
I think it might be this one, the CSG, CrossFit CSG.
No, that's in Georgia.
Oh, no, CrossFit Mousetrap.
Yeah, Mousetrap's... I've been there to Mousetrap before.
Yeah?
It's a great box. Yeah, one of the guys, Randy, who hopefully is listening to this, but he's a member there, and Joe, I've helped them at their level 1s and level 2s, so that's why I know them.
Cool.
That's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting, and obviously the tour, we want to just meet people, get in front of people. We've seen something big this week, and that was the fact that we released a free ebook.
Yes, I think it went out on Monday.
It was Monday.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of people are downloading it, so I hope they're enjoying it.
So
we'd love to have some feedback if anybody does have any.
Yeah, if you're listening to this,
feel free, send us a little note through the contact form.
Absolutely, we want to hear what you guys think of it. It's on intermittent fasting, something I do. I mean, the other day, what was it, Tuesday, I had gotten up, did our thing in the morning, went to jiu-jitsu, we got the car, came home, worked out.
Oh my gosh, I think it was like 6 o'clock at night.
It was after 6, I was going to say it was 8. By the time we worked out, did some Ramad, showered, and I had to eat a ton.
Yeah, you were angry.
And I think, you get to the point sometimes, that was a little bit too long of a window, especially with all the activity. I'll tell you what, oftentimes it's not activity for me that gets me hungry, it's stress.
Well, you find stress makes you hungry? I find it inhibits my hunger.
Depending on what I've ate and what I've done that day. Mm-hmm. Yeah, when I get stressed, my body kind of just reacts that way. But the ebook is about intermittent fasting, and we've kept it simple. The premise of it was like, here are some ideas. Here's a good way to test that you should or shouldn't do intermittent fasting, and if you want to, start here. Not a whole lot of science behind it, but it's really just, here's a broad, general, and inclusive view of intermittent fasting, and you can download it at ownyoureating.com. Go to the shop, go to publications, buy the book, The Definitive Guide to Flexible Eating, and then also grab that free ebook in there.
Yeah, and we talked about intermittent fasting in our podcast last week, but if you want to learn a little more about the benefits, we did also write a little blog post about it. So I think that's also it's on the blog page, probably from Monday too.
You wrote more of that. You did a great job with that, yeah. ownyoureating.com/blog.
So what's next, Jay? What are we writing next?
Oh, so I'm in the middle. It's actually drafted. You have to now read it.
Okay.
Free ebook on carb cycling.
Cool.
So probably one of the biggest questions we get is, what is carb cycling? Should I do it? When do I do it? All that stuff. I'm sick and tired of answering questions on it, so I wrote a book.
That's really why we're writing these books.
Exactly. So it should, I would say, give us another week.
Okay.
It's really on your plate right now, so you have to do that.
A lot of stuff.
Yeah, but just read it. Let us know what you think, and then we'll get it out there. But carb cycling free ebook coming out shortly.
Yeah.
And please, if you download these for free and you like them, go on and give us a review.
Yeah.
So just throw up a review. Obviously, we prefer 5 stars, but be honest with us. Tell us what you think, and then share the page. Don't just share the free ebook. Send someone the link to the page to download it, because we like to keep track of who's downloading it and all that stuff. But if you like it, share it.
Yeah.
And then the new carb cycling book will be out
couple weeks
or so.
But also, if you want, you have some ideas on some other cool topics that you want us to write about, let us know. We have obviously a whole bunch of ideas based off of questions we always get asked, but we're always happy to hear what you guys think and what you need. So let us know.
Absolutely. More and more will be coming out there. We're going to also do some free webinars.
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking about doing a Facebook Live maybe next week just to talk about intermittent fasting and promote it. So look for that. I'll set up a time and a date. Check that out.
Cool. What else happened this week? Who's your Transformation Tuesday?
My buddy Keith.
Oh.
I started working with him maybe 3 months ago.
Okay.
And if you go to ownyoureating.com and you go to Tuesday's post, his name is Keith, and it's funny because I talked to so many people and I could basically...
He looks great.
...tell you what's happening with a 10-minute conversation in your life. And with Keith, it was like, all right, dude, you're not eating enough. You're definitely not eating enough protein. Here's what I need you to do. And you see those... I mean, that first picture... These pictures are actually a tiny bit outdated. Those are probably 4 weeks ago now.
Oh, really?
He's actually sent me more recent ones where he's even more shredded. He's a little bit lighter. He's already reverse dieting. He's up a significant number of calories. So,
do you know what the time span is between this picture 1 to picture 3?
That picture was 8 weeks. So from left to right, it was 4 weeks, 8 weeks. So 2 months there. Mm-hmm. But now it's been another couple weeks because he sent me that a bit ago in my head.
You can see there's so much more muscular definition, like not just in his abs, but his arms, his pecs.
And that's like, I'm lighter.
His face too. Look at his face.
It is amazing how
crazy
men and women alike, when you see that jawline and you see some...
It's chiseled now.
Leanness in your face, you become better looking.
Yeah, really.
He just looks
great.
Happy and healthier, but yeah, he's reverse dieting now. Cool. Big improvements. That's a big message that I think needs to be out there. Like, people start flexible eating, and one benefit of this versus a typical diet, obviously, other than, hey, you can eat pizza and donuts and enjoy life, is there's an end game.
Yeah.
Where most diets there isn't. It's like, okay, you're in this caloric restriction forever. Right. Where no, if you do this and you just bear with it for, realistically 2 to 6 months, depending on where you're starting.
Yeah.
You're gonna eat more down the road.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can just get over that initial hurdle, you're going to eat more food.
Yeah, I think that for me was always the appeal. The light at the end of the tunnel was that, one, I was actually going to learn so much and be giving my body the right amount of fuel to help me perform better at the gym, but that eventually I would fix my metabolism and start to be able to eat more one day. And that was hugely appealing for me.
How long did it take you to get there?
Well, when I truly committed, I think... I was traveling and I wasn't able to weigh myself all the time. So I always kind of caveat myself with that. But I hit my goal weight probably within the first 2 months of flexible eating. And then it wasn't until, let me see now. It was probably 3 months, maybe a bit longer before I started reverse dieting. And I would say, one, I didn't start earlier because I was traveling and I didn't really know where I was at with my goal weight and whatnot. And two, I was still naturally very hesitant to that idea of incorporating more food because I had been so successful, and there's this fear that eating more food was going to make me fat, right?
I think obviously that's a big, like we were saying, we just went live on Instagram, FYI. So hey everybody that's watching, but we're recording our podcast and we were talking about how there's an end game to flexible eating, and yeah, I think for some people, once they get to that point where it is time to reverse diet, it is a little bit stressful. I mean, I'll give you a great example. Jacqueline, who I've been working with for over a year now, well over a year, or Ashley even, right? Both of these women are getting so lean. They're training hard. They're performing. Jacqueline got muscle ups now. She's crushing the open.
Nice, Jacqueline.
And I've been like telling her, you need more food. You need more food. Same thing I said to Ashley. And they're like, no, because I just kind of I hit my goal. I don't want to gain weight back. It's like you need this food to continue on that positive route. Rude. What is a rude? That's a combo of road and root. Shout out to Ashley. There's Taylor. So Taylor's another great example. She's gonna need to reverse diet soon.
Yeah.
And Taylor, now that you're watching, you're gonna freak out just like Ashley did. But I've seen people plateau with flexible eating, and unless they eat more food, they will stay plateaued. Like you need to eat more to advance yourself.
Yeah, and not just that. Like I was at a point where I was looking lean, but I actually wasn't able to get any more muscular or any stronger because I just was not giving my body the fuel it needed in order to do that. So my performance level was stalled at the gym. Like it didn't matter what I did, I was not going to make any improvements.
Well, look at Ashley's picture. She sent us a picture.
Oh my gosh.
2 days ago.
Crazy.
And the one on the right, she was a pound heavier, but looked significantly better.
She looked...
And not like, that sounds shitty. She looked good on both, but she looked more muscular and more ripped.
Yeah, 100%.
On the one on the right. And that was after some hot yoga with Taylor over there. So
I'm jealous of those girls hitting up hot yoga every day.
Hey, maybe we'll hit some hot yoga on the road.
I hope so. That would be a good thing for today. When that's the other thing. Like going to hot yoga when it's already 90 degrees outside, it's not as enticing.
Before I moved to Florida, I mean, I was hitting Bikram. I was doing doubles.
Double Bikram? Oh my
God.
God.
One would be like a full Bikram, and then one would be like a hot vinyasa, so it was like 90 degrees, not 105.
Right.
But then when I moved down here, I was like, I would do yoga on the lanai and get the same effects of it. Booty shorts. Yeah, Taylor's saying it. That's a benefit of... Do you want to hear a funny story? And then we'll end this podcast. We've been recording for a while. So I used to go to Bikram yoga, and you know how you basically go naked.
No, you don't. I mean, well, you wear little booty shorts. And
yeah, the girls in Bikram are wearing very, very little. So gentlemen, if you're listening to this and you're wondering where to meet some...
If they haven't figured that out yet...
Well, they don't know. Most men don't know.
Okay.
You go... I mean, there's like Bikram outfits.
Right.
The girls wear the same ones. It's like bikini shorts, basically, and then those...
It's like a bikini top.
The top that don't have like... Yeah, that's like a tight tube top almost, right? Would that be what you call it?
No, because it's still got straps on it. Isn't it?
It's very little.
Right, yeah.
It's very little. And the truth of the matter is, if you're doing Bikram, like, you don't have time to focus on what these chicks are wearing. You're just trying not to die. Like, the first Bikram yoga class I ever took, a long time ago, I was like, I'm going to die here. Like, this is where I'm going to die. And
I still feel like that when I haven't been for a long time.
What are you saying, Taylor? Sports bro? No, but I was like, I'm going to pass out in, like, rabbit or one of these postures. And that's it. I'm going to pass out, and they're going to wake me. No big deal. Because, I've been choked out before. I get it.
You don't pass out in the floor series. You pass out in the standing series.
It was so hot. It was the first Bikram I ever took.
All right.
So anyway, going back to the story. I would go in just my spandex. Under Armour type shirt. You know what I wear for underwear?
Yeah.
That's what I would wear. I get a lot of Reebok. I have Under Armour ones. And I was wearing... Reebok came out with a line, and I get a lot of Reebok, and they were, like, vented.
Oh, right. I know which ones you mean.
Right. So I wasn't paying attention.
Your butt crack at the top of them.
Exactly. And I didn't know this, and I'm wearing my Reebok, and the instructor is like, you could see your ass. and I was like,
You're
really?
like, perfect.
And I used to go in the front because I wanted to see the mirror, check myself out.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, this is all I have. I'm not going home. So this is what I'm wearing today. I stayed. So.
Oh, dear.
That was it. That's my Bikram story. But I love Bikram. It's great. If you don't attend Bikram or any hot yoga, it's great recovery. We'll hit some Bikram up.
Yeah.
Some hot yoga.
I need it. I think you need it. I'd like to see you floored out for a little bit.
I need it. I loved it. All right, guys, we're going to wrap up this podcast. If you are watching us on Instagram Live, sorry we didn't think to do that a little sooner, but...
listen to the podcast.
Yeah, check out the full podcast. Give me about an hour.
Yeah.
But other big announcements that we had is go online. The tour's up there, ownyoureating.com. Check out the tour dates. If you're in the Florida area, we're heading up to Georgia soon. And download the free ebook on intermittent fasting. And check everything else out.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Signing off for Roz, myself,
Mo and Marley.
It's been a great podcast. Sorry if we rambled a little bit. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.